Okay, recording has started. So we're going to start with Lauren, who'll go over opportunity management, and then we'll roll logically right into quoting with Amanda. So we'll turn it over to Lauren, get started. You guys can ask questions along the way. I think Lauren and Amanda are both okay with you guys asking questions as we go, or you can throw them in the chat. And then when we get to a stopping point, I can monitor that chat and make sure we get those questions answered as we go. All right, Lauren, take it away.
Thanks, Lori. Good afternoon. Okay, so today we're going to start with sales opportunities. We'll follow a single potential sale from the moment it comes in to the day it closes, so you can see how your team would track the opportunity, log their activity, and how you would manage your pipeline. So let's say we get a referral from one of our existing clients. I've got a customer entity here. We've tagged it as type prospect, status prospect. This is how leads would flow into your system today. We do have leads as a new entity that is in development that should be coming out soon to alleviate some of the terminology confusion, to alleviate some of the pressure points we know you have with some of the required fields when creating a customer record. But as it sits today, your leads would be entered as customers, assigned a type and a status of prospect, and then you would work it from here. So we've got Summit Ridge Technology that's flagged as that. We've got a quote level parent tab, and here you'll see there's an opportunities sub tab. So this is where every opportunity that's created for the customer would be visible. This is also where you can add more opportunities. So, if you're trying to upsell existing clients, or if it's truly a new lead, you could add your first opportunity. So no limit to the amount of opportunities you can have per customer. So we'll go ahead and create a new opportunity here. Let's say Summit Ridge Technology is interested in some professional services. Go ahead and fill this out. The opportunity defaults to me as the owner. You can pick any other user in the system as needed. Opportunity type, we'll say this is new service. Source will let you track where this opportunity came from. We'll go ahead and say this was a client referral. If you have additional information like the expected amount or anticipated close date, you can certainly capture that here. Let's say our average monitoring package is, 4,500, something like that. And I'll go ahead and put a close date in here so we have some data we can play with on the list. And forecast category. So this would be how confident you are at this point in time that this opportunity may close or result in a real sale. So we'll just call this forecast for now. And then next step. So this is where you are in your sales process, what you're looking to do next. So, in this case, maybe we had a warm handoff, maybe we didn't. So potentially my next step is to establish contact. So I can capture that here and go ahead and create my opportunity. So this is what the opportunity detail looks like. We've got your stages across the top. So you can easily see at what point in your process your opportunity is. Since we just opened this one, obviously we're in qualification, and we can move that over time as this progresses. So we've got a hyperlink back to the customer record if we need to bounce there for any reason. And here's all the detail that we entered, nicely categorized on display at the top here. As your sales reps will work these opportunities, they can enter activity notes. It could be a summary of how an interaction went, or a summary of potentially, they did not establish contact, they weren't able to reach someone. So this is an easy way that they can track the efforts that have been made against trying to close this potential sale, allowing them to capture what happened. So let's say had a warm handoff call with VP of Tech. I can go ahead and enter that. I do want to call out, we do have the revise functionality here. So if your techs just kind of want to type a quick summary and they want Revy to clean up the text to make it more professional or polished, we do have that functionality here as needed. I'll go ahead and post that activity. So one of the new enhancements we've made recently is the ability to edit the note or delete the note. This is locked behind RBAC permission. So again, only the proper people should be able to do these actions, but this is something new that we've added here recently as an enhancement. So We can advance this as we need.
Lauren, you got a quick question before you move on. Jack wants to know, is someone able to create a new customer within opportunities?
No. So the point of origination at this point in time would be the customer record. The opportunity is bound to customers at this point in time. When we have leads, you would also be able to associate the opportunity with the lead, but the opportunity itself is not the entry point.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, in terms of editing, all the fields are available here. We can update our next step if need be. We can move this along through the sales cycle. I'm going to go ahead and bump this. Let's move the stage up. Let's say we're in solution development. I'll go ahead and save. So let's talk about how you would back out of the single opportunity and look at your pipeline holistically. That's going to be available in your opportunities list. So within the customers navigation opportunity list, this is what it looks like today. So at the top, you've got a snapshot of the opportunities within your system. So total count, total pipeline value, average deal size, weighted pipeline is a feature we're working on that's not quite out yet. And then we've got your sales funnel here. So this is another way you can get a look at your pipeline by stage, see how much money you have potentially locked behind each. I do want to point out that these stages do act as filters. If you want to drive in on opportunities that are in your discovery stage, for example, I can click here. The list below will filter. The other stages become blurred out. Again, just honing in that you are looking at a subset of your data. So you can re-click that stage to clear the filter, or you can hop to a different stage as need, and the filter will update. So that's one way you can filter and dive deeper into a subset of your opportunities data. We also do have the filters available down here if you want to look at particular status, drill down by the owner, your types, your stages, your forecast category, look at a close date range, you certainly can. We do have those available for you here. So one thing that I do want to talk about, let's say that this opportunity has progressed far along enough, you're ready to maybe close a sale. There are a few different options you have available depending on how it goes, whether it's been won or not. So we do have a couple statuses here, closed won, closed lost. So closed won doesn't require any additional information. Closed lost will require a lost reason. So this will help you better track information, why the sale didn't work. Was it truly a bad fit? Was there a product or service offering you were missing, out of your price point? Anything else that may have happened along the way. This is how you can start correlating some data to see, what are your most common lost reasons. Revy can certainly help with aggregating data. We have tremendously powerful analytics available as well. You can sort and filter by these types of things. So yes, there is a place for custom fields. There is a place for source. We do have that here. I'll show you how you can customize those in just a moment. When we do implement leads will also have their own source field available. So close lost does require you to enter that lost reason just for data tracking. So as I alluded to earlier, let's take a look at some of the admin configuration that goes into setting this up to the way that you need for your process and your business. So under admin here within system settings, first off, let's hop by system tables. So here you'll see there's an opportunities tab. This is where you can configure pretty much every field that you saw me work with today. So you can add your particular opportunity types if you want to distinguish, new client versus true suspect, or if you want to distinguish by areas of your business, you certainly can. Sales stages. So this is how you can configure the stages your opportunities go through and what order they go through in. So this is customizable by sort order as well. Your opportunity statuses. You don't have to use closed lost. If you want to enter in another one, you can flag it for whether or not it requires a lost reason entry like what I showed you today. Again, I highly recommend tracking that. So again, you can piece together, what are your most common reasons for not closing sales, whatever that might be. Here's your opportunity sources. So this would be, customizable again, based on your needs. And then your forecast category. So that is all available here. So the question for custom fields, absolutely. If we go to admin, system settings. Maybe I missed it. Nope, sorry. Admin, custom fields, managers. I missed it. So here in the module section, we do have opportunities available. So again, you can enter any custom field that you might require. This works with custom field builder as you've seen it in other areas. So you have all the same options here for what field type it's going to be, text, drop down, etc. That's all customizable here. You can customize whether it is required or not. If you want to inactivate custom fields because they're no longer needed, you can also do that. So absolutely configure your custom fields against opportunities to your heart's content. And then last thing we'll talk about is going to be RBAC. So take a look at roles and permissions here. So within here, we have a section dedicated to opportunities. These are the permissions that we have available today. Create, delete, delete activities, edit activities, view the opportunities list, and then edit opportunity details. So these are the ones we ship with. And again, you can mix and match based on the different roles you have for whether or not you want everyone to have access to everything in the opportunities. So that's sales opportunities from opening to close, how to track your activity, how to track where you are, how to zoom out and look at your pipeline as a whole. So there is one more piece that ties into all of this. When you're looking at your opportunity detail, one tab that we didn't talk about is this quotes tab. So, if your sale progresses far along enough at a point where you're ready to discuss products or services that, could be sold, that is where the quote functionality will come into play. I want to point out you can create as many quotes as you need against this opportunity. You're not limited at all. So if you're working with a client that requires, different quotes at once, or if you find it a best practice within your organization to have different quotes per line of service, you can certainly do that against a single opportunity. So that's how these two relate together. Before I turn it over to Amanda to talk more about quoting, are there any other questions? Sounds great. Thanks for your time, everyone.
Yep.
Alrighty. Thank you, Lauren. So picking right up where Lauren left off, on the quotes tab within that opportunity, we can just click on add quote. The select customer is already filled out because we came directly from that customer opportunity. We can select which contacts to go ahead and import from that existing list. We can also do this or even add new contacts on the quote screen. So you can do it here or later, either way. And then you can add a specific description here as well. So I'll go ahead and create that quote. At the top, we can see some quick fiscal information regarding this quote. It's blank right now, so we can add our first service and products associated with this quote. We can also apply a macro. And there's a whole nother training on quote, that dives deep into quotes and how to set up macros and all of that. So if you missed that, there is a recording in community. I think, Lori, has that one been posted? Okay.
Sure has.
Awesome. Thank you. So you can visit that one. I'm sure we'll be doing another one here in the relatively near future as well. So we can see that we can select one of these pre-built macros. So let's just go ahead and do this PSA seats. When I select that, I can see a quick overview of the information that is included in that macro just to make sure I'm selecting the correct one. And then I'll apply that. Once I apply that macro, I can see the service and the products that have been auto applied for me, so I don't have to select those. I can still go in here and make changes. So if this customer requested 3 of these essentials packages, I can make that change as well. Another change that has been relatively recently updated is this package quantity. So I can also update the package as a whole. When I do that, it will update all of the products within that package by multiplying the product quantities by that package quantity. So for example, if that essentials package had 2 for every one of the migration fees, it'll increase those accordingly. I can also add additional one-off products if I need to and customize that for this specific quote as well. Then down here, we can add additional addresses if we need to, and contacts. So this is where I can import the existing contacts, the same as on the creation screen that we saw earlier, or I can even add new if that is needed. Down here at the bottom, we can add description. I can even change who this quote is assigned to if there's a specific sales representative or someone else that will be managing this customer and this quote. I can assign it to them directly. So once everything within the products and services section is correct, I can then create the proposal. And the proposal is the actual document that's going to be sent out to the customer for their approval and signature. When I do that, I can add a title, and just for consistency, okay. And we'll call this one, we'll use this pre-designed proposal template. And like I said, in that other deep dive session, you can learn how to set up those proposal templates. And then if we added additional contacts here, those would be showing up here as well. And then we can create that proposal template. Or, I'm sorry, that proposal. Okay, so once that is done, if I've used this before, I know how everything works, I'm confident everything is good, I can just send it out from here and I don't even have to look at it. I can also open it, verify everything looks good. I can reassign signatures for contacts that have been added and just make sure and double check everything is good. If I need to go back and add more products and services, maybe change the quantities, change the rates, once the proposal has already been created, any changes to the products area after that, I'll need to come in and click sync to make sure that those changes are pushed and reflected on the proposal document itself. So let's go ahead and open this up so we can take a look at how this works. Okay. So this template was pre-configured, and this section right here, this is the quote builder block. So this is where my products and service information is populated. And then we see all of the other information that is on that proposal template as well. I can also add signatures using these, using this content block here. Right now it's set up to Ryan Burton. I can change that if I need to, and I can drag and drop these signature fields as needed and make it look a little bit nicer. I don't want to mess with these too much. This is our sales environment, but I can place those where I need to and then assign those to the appropriate contacts. So once everything looks good, I can send it to the recipient from here, or like I said, I can also do it from this screen directly through this send button. Once that is sent out, the status will be updated in this proposal row here. And you can have multiple proposals assigned to a quote. So if you need to have those different drafts, you can have those. Once it's accepted and signed, then we'll go up here to the top and approve that. You can also change the approval date, and then you can choose whether or not you want to activate the products on completion. So if there's stuff that needs to be activated, like with third-party vendors. You might not have the choice to activate this on completion, but if it's all in-house, then you can choose to activate that. And then we'll say this is going to be a future activation on the 1st. So maybe we don't want to do that yet. And then we'll approve that. Once a quote is approved, those products and services are locked. You can no longer edit the quantities and rates here. And a ticket has also been created. This ticket is automatically created for all one-time products that were assigned to the quote. And you can jump directly to that ticket by clicking on the ticket ID over here on the left-hand side of the screen. So this gives you that link back to the ticket so you can easily see which tickets are assigned to which quotes. Okay, so jumping into that ticket, we go over here to parts and labor. We can see that one-time item listed under the parts and labor. So now this ticket can be worked. Everything can be installed, everything set up as it needs to be time tracked through the ticket according to your processes. Alrighty, so if we go back, we will be taken to the quote screen, the quote list. This is also accessible through the quote list here on the customers menu. Let's go back to the opportunities just so we can take a look now. If we go over to our opportunity that we were working through, go to the quotes, now we can see this quote here. It has been completed. And if I'd added a description, it would show up there to give a little more context information about the quote that we were working on. All right. Any questions? This information is also found on the customer screen. So if I jump over to the customer record, in the quotes area, we have the quotes tab. So this is the one that we just completed. And then the proposals tab, remember the proposal is the document that's actually sent out to the customer. And we have that here as well. Okay. The status on the proposal will show sent, viewed, completed, all of that once it is viewed and completed by the customer.
Is there a way for actually seeing that, what it looks like, what the customer's going to see?
So when you send it, it will also send it, it'll do a carbon copy and it'll send it to the sender as well. So you'll get a copy of that.
Yeah, but what about a preview of what you're going to send to the customer?
So when you do when you're in there, oh, and I can't do it now. Let me add a new one real quick. Nope, I can't because I completed it. We'll just go in this one. Okay, so when you're working in here, and you edit this, if you don't touch anything, and I didn't add any products and services, which is why it says that, and this is not a good example. Let me try a different one.
You know, I got to say, when you just switch to that screen and you have the white background, I find it a heck of a lot easier to read than the dark background you're doing in these web sessions every time. Just an FYI.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, we tend to work in the dark mode, but that is something I have heard before. Okay, so if
Hey,
you
I'll
don't,
second that motion there. So you've now heard it twice. It definitely is easier to see in the light mode.
yeah, okay, I will
Am
definitely
I
pass that along too.
am I the only one who runs into issues pasting in and out of the dark mode where the font matches the background after a paste and it appears like you've just done nothing?
Within the PSA?
Yeah. When I go, I, I'm still at a point where I'm utilizing other software to compensate for some functionality.
Mhm.
Or I will take contents from emails and post it into, a ticket request. And oftentimes, if I'm working in the dark mode, it takes the black text that I copied and pastes it black.
Gotcha. So it's keeping that formatting.
Yeah, I wondered if that was like
Gotcha.
a setting somewhere where we could say, when we're posting into, dark mode, that it should be default to a white font.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can take a look and see what options we have there, because that
It's
I
not.
would say post that in community, Scott, as
Okay.
an idea. Because yeah, there's definitely light mode fans here, even at corporate. So
Okay. Well, and I'll fuss with it a little more because I noticed last week I did it several times and it came over fine. So I need to make note of where I've been when I do it, because either it's potentially been addressed or it's not consistent.
yeah.
Or I'm not consistent in how I'm doing it, which has also come up for a few bugs that I found.
You
Okay.
might also try Control Shift C instead
That's how I
of
always.
your standard C. Control C.
Mhm.
Oh, Control Shift C.
Yeah, sometimes text will copy over from dark mode, but that'll actually do the opposite.
It'll strip it. Yeah.
Interesting. Learn something new every day. Control. That'll come in handy in a couple other areas potentially of other software.
Yeah. Alrighty. So when you're in this view, on the actual, like how this looks here, this is exactly how it will look to the customer that's receiving it. Now, obviously the fields will be populated and all of that, but as far as like a preview, there's not a way other than this view. It's pretty true. Like now, if obviously they're not going to see this little hover text box, right? But when they're sent this, it is true to what you see here, as far as what the customer will see.
So
Now,
those
do we have?
fields, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking when that populates, do
Mhm.
we have control over what the font looks like when it's unpopulated when we're setting up a field? Quozal, a competitor, I know that
Mhm.
I've run into that before. You generate a nice looking quote, and then when you look at it later, the font's changed about 5 times as it goes down through the quote
That's
due
a
to the way the
good
fields bring it in.
question. Yeah. I'm not sure about that.
I don't notice it as much,
I-
but my anal retentive partner um, just drives her nuts.
Yeah. I don't think so. Let me make a note of that, and I will look into that further, though.
For
And
us, we just
So I
eventually
would,
changed everything we put in to whatever the silly default font they were using.
yeah. Oh, look, yeah, it's right up here. Here we go.
And that's for the material oh yeah, okay. So that's for the content that's going to come in.
Yeah.
Nice.
and is it like right there, the fields are way above the lines? Is that exactly how it's going to appear, or is it going to move them? And is there a way to make them, to me, that text looks totally out of alignment, and that
Mhm.
triggers my anal retentive part that, the text should show up on the line, not way above it.
Yeah. Yeah, this just needs to be um, messed with a little bit.
And that would be in the template, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just because the way this template was built, this was imported as like a PDF, like the background as like an image basically. And then these fields were just kind of put on top of it.
Are we
if
able
we're-
to copy quotes yet?
No. Well, no. Sorry. We cannot.
So if you were building this rather than using a PDF as the background, it probably would be a little more friendly to line them up.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we could finagle it. I could spend some time on it, but I don't want to waste y'all's time, watching me sit here and play with it. But
No, but
Yeah.
I think the fact that we're putting these over top of an image answers that question.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's all in how you built it to start with.
right, exactly. I mean, we could play with it and kind of.
So would it be advantageous when we're building these to wait to add background graphics until we're happy with the template otherwise?
Yeah, and kind of back into the to the background. Yeah, that would make sense. One thing to remember though is this quote builder block. This is going to grow and expand based on the number of products that you have. So that is something to remember, because it's going to push everything else to like the next pages, right?
Now,
So.
because we're not seeing the populated quote, I can't
Mhm.
envision this, but will we have control over like page break?
I don't think there is. Yeah, there is. So if we put a page break in here,
Well, what about like in the line of products?
oh, not in the line of products, no, because that's just a solid quote builder.
Okay.
It's just one block. Actually, let me. Yeah, we do not. There is this like. Yeah, nope. I wonder if they did something there. You do have these options, and it's probably because I don't have any products there right now, but you do have these inline table options where you can kind of customize it a little bit more in this design section, but I do not see a page break within it.
Now, can we generate, okay, so we've done the quote. Can we generate it as a printable or a savable document? Say it comes up when we're doing proposals, a lot of times that we have a lot of other material that we want to include. So we'll send the quote in a separate email altogether, just because of formatting and whatnot. So before we send it, are we able to, carve off a real copy of it, either to look at or to send separately?
So you can download it
Okay.
via this little action menu here. And that might actually, somebody was asking about the preview.
Mm-hmm.
That might, yeah, there you go. That's the preview. Sorry I didn't even think about that. So here's the actual like preview that you could, and I built in that blank page So ignore that. But yeah, so this would actually be the preview that somebody was asking about earlier, so that you could see that before it was sent. Because you can download it at any point, even because we're still in draft and you can still download it. So
That was me, and that does answer my question.
yeah, perfect. Thank you.
And naming it preview is probably more accurate than download, because download doesn't automatically trigger, correct? When you hit
Yeah.
that, it just,
Well, it does download it. So because it downloads it up
oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
And okay.
And you can download it before you send it and after. So you'll always be able to download it. You won't have these other options after you complete it, but you'll always be able to download this proposal.
So once sent, can we go back and edit it if the customer says, because I do that a lot, of multiple options, pick the ones you like, and I'll send you a final quote for approval. Is there
Yeah.
any point once we've dealt with it where it says you can't go back and rework it?
Only after the quote itself has been approved. Now, it will give you a warning, like after you send it, if they've opened it and messed with it, it will let you know that it's going to blank out their signature and the date if it had a date field. Because they, I guess for security, they don't want you messing with it and then, whatever. So it'll give you that warning and it'll blank out those fields, but it will let you go back in there and make changes. And then you can resend it at that point.
Nice.
Mhm. Any other questions?
When you're adding product, can you create or add or build a new product in the quote itself for the price book?
You cannot.
Ouch. Okay.
Yeah. That has been discussed, but not at this time.
Yeah, we're coming from Tiger Paw, and in Tiger Paw, you can do that with a non-stock item,
Mhm.
so if, because we run across that a fair amount where it's some oddball device that we're selling. And, so you can include that in a quote, right in the quoting tool itself.
Yeah. Does that add it to the price book or is that
It-
just like a one-off?
It gives you that option down the road
Gotcha.
to either
Okay.
add it to the price book or not.
Mhm. Okay.
And ConnectWise Sell, we do that as well. A
Mhm.
lot of times we sell security cameras, and they'll have the same security camera with a different SKU based on its warranty, length. And instead of importing them all, we just copy
Mhm.
them while we're in the quote, or modify one that exists and save it as a new price book item. It saves a ton of time.
Gotcha. Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah, so
Alrighty.
fix that.
All right, Lori, that's all
Right
I've
now,
got.
the product catalog is your source of truth for now. So
Yep.
the way
I
it is for
noticed
now.
there were some links for integration to Ingram and TD Synnex. I wondered, I didn't see a good explanation as to what that would bring over or what information would be exchanged. Is that price book information?
I think we got the wrong team on here to answer that question.
Okay.
We can schedule another integrations power hour. What integrations would you guys be interested in seeing power hours on? TD Synnex, I heard.
TD Synnex, Ingram. There is an enable for N Central. I was told there was an API integration for the enable Nsight, which is what we're using. That would interest me, but I'd like to know more before I went forward and made a mess.
Okay. I'll try
Yeah,
and get
we'd
that one
like to
scheduled.
see something on APIs so that we could better utilize it for integration with cloud-based phone systems. We were given some basic information, but there's no instruction or anything, so it would really be great to have like a beginner's class or something just to help us play with that, so we could see if that would work.
Okay.
Oh, I'd be
I'll
on
see-
board for that.
Okay. I'll see if I can find somebody that can run that one. It's definitely
That
not
would be
me.
awesome. Yeah.
I don't think I see Amanda and Lauren raising their hands for that one either, but I'll search it.
Oh,
I'll
come
search
on.
around and see who our guy is for that, or our girl, and
Great.
we'll
That
try and
would
get
be
that one.
wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sure. All right. Thank you guys so much for attending. If there's no other questions, we'll end it. I just put
I'll
out a
run one more
whole.
by you.
Sorry.
I'll run another question by you.
Oh, okay.
So I know you guys were working on the search feature. Is that still, so Steve, can you reiterate what
The
it was?
global
we were finding?
search.
Yeah, the global search doesn't work, and I've been trying to, I know for our instance too, I think they're still working on getting the phone numbers in. Um, a global search would be wonderful where, obviously it's there, but I know it's broken.
Yeah, I
It's
think
not
phone
working
numbers
yet.
is one thing that they missed. But again, we
Yeah.
kind of got the wrong team on this.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's just-
call.
yeah.
I was just curious
But
whether or not we knew it was going to get fixed sometime soon, I guess is the question.
I would say post that in community. I'm telling you, everybody has their eyeballs on community. So post your questions and issues there. Again, we desperately try and beat Brent and Evan to the community posts. So if you post
Is there
there
another release coming this Thursday? Is that every Thursday or every other Thursday?
every Thursday, and then we
Okay.
usually at the end of one of our release cycles, we just finished up Apollo 1, 2, and 3. We're on Viking 1 now. And at the end of those, we may have 2 at the end of a release cycle, but we have releases every Thursday.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's the outside chance that if it's being worked on, it might get fixed on Thursday.
I have not heard.
Dreamer.
I know. Hence the term outside chance.
Is it just the phone number search for both of you guys?
The whole search bar at the very top does nothing. It can return, no matter what you try to search, it returns nothing.
Oh, it works for me.
Unless
Well,
that's
it
recent.
could be that they've just imported our database and they're still having issues with it apparently.
What can I search? I don't know what I can search.
Customer
looks like-
name.
Yeah, a customer name would be the typical search.
It's searching, like I searched integration, it's searching my tickets, it's searching, you can search for customers, I know. I've got,
I have
is
not
that,
retried it, but I know it was not working for us. But is it maybe part of the problem that they don't have analytics opened up for us yet either, I think. And
I
wonder
think
if the
that must be it.
Yeah, the search might work off of the analytics.
I'm pretty sure we're doing some data lake, something with the data. So basically let that global search be performant, mirroring the data. Yeah. If analytics isn't turned on, we probably don't. That is most likely why.
Okay. I'll go
if
back.
you
and yell
don't
at-
have a ticket in for it yet, if it's not working for you, put a ticket in so that we
Oh,
can,
Yeah, we have a rep, Mark, that's been working with us on getting this set up. And he said whoever's doing the transfer of data was still working on some things that didn't transfer over properly. So I'll go back and yell at him. I like
Okay.
yelling at him. It's fun.
all right.
As someone who's been doing this live for a hot minute, I will say, open your own tickets when you're dealing with some of these individuals. They have a lot on their plate. And if you want to make sure that you have history in your service ticket list, you're best off opening your own tickets and making sure that they get the information gets exchanged there. It's a whole lot easier to find than digging back through your emails.
Yeah. All right. I just put a whole bunch, I think over the next like 2.5 weeks, I've scheduled out some more power hours. And again, remember, they're going to be repeats. You'll hear some of the same information. So if it's one you don't feel like you need any info on, you feel free to skip them. We're trying to catch all of our new clients as they're coming into onboarding and going live. We're trying to make sure they have opportunities to hear all the basics as well. You're always welcome to join and listen in for any of the functionality that's been updated since you last saw it, but there will be a lot of repeat. Just want to make that clear. But I put out the next, I don't know, 2.5 or 3 weeks worth of sessions. So head over to community as usual. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day.